Hey guys, I'm Tim Lansky with Red Dog Bushcraft, and while I was at Smoky Mountain Knife Works, one of the top things that I wanted to do while I was there, other than see a bunch of people that I only get a chance to see once a year, was to pick up some ways of maintaining my tools. Now, last year while I was there, I picked up some really good tools, but I've used them so much that I wanted to go ahead and buy some backups and even pick up one new one. No, I didn't. Everything here is exactly what I've had in the past, and I'm buying it again. That's odd. Why would you want two of everything? It's because it works really well, and I sharpen a lot of knives at work, and that leaves most of the time that tool at work when I need to sharpen a knife at home, especially in my own kitchen or something like that. So instead of running back and forth with all of it, I decided to buy another set for right here at the house. Here, let me bring you in a little bit closer and I'll show you exactly what works for me. So let's get back in time to last year, and I decided to invest in this Worksharp system that comes in this carrying case, and contained within that is this system that is designed to hold your knife at the perfect angle, and you can adjust the desired angle here and utilize this set of both diamond, stone, and strop devices that attach into this thing. And just quickly, I'll show you. The end of the rod is magnetic. It just snaps right up into your piece that adjusts up and down to give you the proper angle. You put your knife in here and crank it down, and that holds it steady as you are able to maintain that edge and sharpen it until you get the burr on one side, and then you flip it over. Now, there's supposed to be a push button on this thing that you can turn it, but mine didn't work right off the bat very well. So I just pull it out and put it back in on the opposite side, because there's also magnets on this that hold that device into the front of the jig. And it's been a really good system when I need to maintain and hold a really that bevel all the way across, which is where most people have their problem sharpening a knife, is maintaining that same degree, that same angle all the way across that blade and on both sides. I have a knife grinder at work, and I use that to reprofile and when a blade really gets damaged a lot. But just on a normal touch-up, I'm not using my grinder. I'm not that handy with it. I just use a stone. And Lansky makes this diamond stone that has two different grits in it. You just flip this over and it gives you a 2-inch by 6-inch long surface. Has little rubber feet on the bottom of it to keep it from sliding on the table. And there's a fine grit and a coarse grit on this same stone. And it doesn't take up a lot of space. And with it being diamonds, it'll cut through. It cuts through the older steels. If you get a nick or something and you really have to remove some metal, it'll do that in a very, it'll do it very quickly. Nice sharpening system if you know how to hold your angle and you don't need a jig like this one. This is just a pocket version of a small diamond sharpening stone that's just handy to have in your bag when you're traveling. I do a lot of demonstrating knives, so it's handy to have a way of touching them up. And even though this diamond is very small for pocket knives and such, it will work for me in a pinch. It's not what I use for my everyday sharpening. It's just for travel. But last year I picked up one of these, and I didn't pick it up at Smoky Mountain Knife Works. I bought it at my local Walmart after watching many of you on YouTube talk about different sharpeners and the advantages of the Workshop guide field sharpener. If I'm not going to carry this, I am going to carry this. For travel, hunting, going back and forth to class, keeping it in my truck. Like I said, I do a lot of work with knives, so I'm having to touch them up. This has really been a game changer because it has a guide plate on each side that every time you bring that knife back to here, you're able to reestablish the proper angle. And that reset in between strokes across that stone really help you to develop a burr on one side of that blade that then you can revert to the other side and then work that burr off until that burr flips. And then once it does, you flip this over and you go to a lesser grit diamond. And then it has a ceramic rod, which actually has 3 different sides to it. It has a little knob here on the end where you rotate it. And I don't know why I'm not taking this out of the package yet. But like I said, I've got one and it's just been so handy, I decided to pick up another one. So I guess I was just leaving it in the pack. But a lot of versatility and a really cool design. And then on the very top, on the other side of the ceramic rod, which you have a coarse, a fine, and a fish hook sharpener on the ceramic side. Here on this side of the sharpener, we have a leather strop that is already loaded down with grain compound. So really everything you need to touch up your knife, if it has a bad nick in it or something, you can definitely do it with this aggressive side of this diamond stone. If it's just losing a little bit of its luster and it's beyond stropping, or the stropping would take too much time, the finer diamond really works well for that. And this is what I do most of the time. The knives are too far gone, or it would take too long for me to strop it to get it back in shape. So I hit it just a few times, 6 or 8 times on each side with the fine diamond. And then I go to my actual leather belt or my strop. I don't really use the leather strop on the back of this that much, but I have used it and it does work. As far as the ceramic rod goes, I mean, what can I say? A nice transition between your diamond stone and your strop is the ceramics. It cuts down on the amount of time that you have to strop. And with it having the angle guides built on that also, it's just an extra plus. Definitely between the guided system and this, the 2 biggest game changers in sharpening my knives. The other thing I picked up last year while I was there is this, and this is the V-Sharp, and specifically this is the Warthog model, and this system works. There is, let's see, there's different grits of the stones here. I call them stones, but they're really, these are diamonds, and this is a set of replacements that I picked up this year for this system. I did not have an extra course. I have a fine on one side and a ceramic on the other on this particular model. But it's made so that your knife goes in here, and as you slide it down, they open, and it's just a pull through, slice down type action that you're doing. What I use this for is my fillet knives. During fishing season and even during hunting season, I use a fillet knife quite a bit. And out in the skinning shed, my intentions was to mount this permanently and just use it in between cleaning multiple fish or skinning multiple animals, just to touch it up and keep that blade really sharp all the time. I decided to pick up the set of course just because, well, I'd never seen it before, and I don't know how it would work, because I have been concentrating on using just the very fine diamond side. Haven't used the ceramic side of this very much. Like I said, it's fillet knives. I mostly use a cheap fillet knife, and I don't care if I'm wearing away a bunch of steel on a $20 knife that I'm going to use for multiple years and then it's going to become a bait knife. I just want a good sharp. I want a little bit of tooth on it so that I can do real pretty fillets, and this maintains that very well. All right, guys, thanks for joining me for this one. Just a quick look at what I have found works for me in my knife sharpening needs. Now, I know as my time and as I practice using that grizzly grinder with those big buffing wheels on it, I can do a really good job at both profiling and sharpening a knife with that tool. It really is the tool that professional knife makers use, but I'm not there yet, okay? I'm still at the a little bit better of a level of sharpening knives than I have in the past, but I'm not where I need to be with the big machines. It's just way too easy to hurt yourself or destroy a knife really quickly with that big, powerful machine. And right now, this is the system that meets my needs. The Worksharp, as far as holding that angle and really taking the learning curve out of sharpening knives, this system is very good. For an everyday field sharpener, it's hard to beat this thing. And once again, this is the Guide Field Sharpener by Worksharp. By far, something that you can put in your pocket or your pack, the best sharpener that I've ever used. Those are the ones that have really been the game changer for me. If you're on the fence and you're thinking about trying it, give it a shot. I mean, it's like I said, it works for me, and at my level of sharpening now, maybe it'll help you out too. Thanks for joining me for this one. I am Tim Langston with Red Dog Bushcraft. We're the home of global safety and survival, and I thank you for joining us. Till next time, God bless.